Football Club. I've always supported them ever since they were in the 4th division. I go with my friend Viv, and she tells me what's going on the pitch. She describes everybody on the pitch.
And it's all about chewing gum then.
I like football. I've played football myself and I enjoy the game. It gives me a sense of people, being with people. I can't actually see anything of the game, really. I can see a big expanse in front of me, an open space, and I can hear the ball being kicked about, and sometimes I can hear what the players are shouting, and I can hear the whistle blowing, but I can't see anything on the pitch itself. Everything that I'm looking at is all jumping about and flickering around and moving about all over the place.
What is it?
It's a jumpsuit, Dad.
What do you mean by a jumpsuit? You don't have to jump in it.
No. Well, I'm not really sure why it's called a jumpsuit. I've just caught one. Yeah, it is. Dad, when's that football on tonight?
10:30.
I was born blind and I had 10 operations. They were called needlings, where they pushed the needle into the cataracts that I'd got. And I had 10 of those. I had 5 on each eye. I had another 2 operations. One when I was 17, I had an iridectomy. They cut a piece of the iris away on the inside of the eye nearest the nose, and that makes a hole in the pupil to allow more light to come in, and also it releases fluid, perhaps that's behind the eye. I suppose they did what job they were supposed to do, but to me they didn't work very successfully. My eyes seemed to deteriorate after they'd had the operations. Oh, I'm not a hooligan.
Well, they all say that, but somebody must be doing something.
Yeah, but it's agitators because they all argue and they saying Watford's rubbish and all this at the match.
Well, they should ignore them.
Yeah, but how can you ignore someone when they're calling your team?
Why not?
Well, I wouldn't.
Do you want coffee, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cathy's mother, Violet, was born with very poor eyesight. There had been no history of blindness in the family, but she was still worried that the condition could be passed on.
Can I get in?
Yes, you can. Do you want apple pie after you... Do we have to?
Yeah, do we have to?
Well, yes. We do, because Father Adrian likes apple pie.
What's blooming apple pie here?
I wish you wouldn't get in my way when I'm trying to do this.
Before I got married, before I knew I was even going to be married, I asked the eye specialist, was there any chance of any children that I might have being the same? And he laughed at me and said, why should there be? Yours is not hereditary. We didn't realise until she was 6 weeks old that there was anything wrong with her eyes. And when my husband sought medical advice, they decided we should see an eye specialist with her. And he said it was coincidence, just a twist of fate.
That's there ready to go in the oven in a few minutes.
Give me one then.
So we didn't worry about having another one, you know. Then when the other one was born the same way, that was it. Well, I felt very angry. In fact, when I knew that my other daughter was like it, I smashed everything in the room after the doctor had gone.
Frozen peas? Well, it's too bad then. You won't eat them, will you? There'll be more for everybody else. turn left.
Left, Peppy.
I've had my guide dog Pepper since April, and he would take me anywhere that I would want to go.
Turn left, through a gap,
Find the way, Peppy.
and then turn right.
Now, I've been away for 3 years, and we moved to this area just before I went away to college. And since I've come home from college, I've changed doctors, and I didn't know the way to the doctors. So when you take your dog to a new area, you have to teach your dog a new route. You have to get somebody to go with you and explain to you where to turn right and turn left, so that you can tell your dog the destination and that you're going to, and then your dog will automatically learn that route, and then you'll be able to go there on your own.
All the co-op is at the end. Now we've got to cross when we come to this road. We'll have to go round the corner slightly, Catherine. There's a car on the bend of the road.
Okay. So, we're going round now?
Yes, we come to the curb now, to your right.
Right, to the curb.
Right, now we've got to wait. Now to cross now. There's nothing. Oh yes, there's a car coming.
This is a silly road, this.
Yes, because you've got to have our ears and eyes. As far as I know, it's okay now, Catherine, to give him command.
Peppy. Now where?
Now, just round to the right a little. Now,
To your right.
round the corner to your left, round by Bishop's, down to Langley Road. Cross Langley Road
Yeah.
and straight down here to the doctor's. Now, stop here. Now, stop here. Now, you've got to turn left, but there are cars parked in front. So I think I don't know, I think the best thing, Catherine, would be go forward a bit more. Go forward a bit more till I decide where the best place for you to cross is. Right, wait a minute, no, that's it. Now, if you go forward, you'll come to stop now and put your hand out there. You'll find like a tree.
Oh,
there. Now, if this is where you'll turn left,
Yeah.
and you're right in line with the...
Sit, Peppy. Right.
Right?
Left, Peppy.
That's okay.
Come on.
Now, if you go straight forward, you'll get to the path, the ramp that goes up to the door.
Good boy.
Okay? When you get to the top of the ramp, you turn right.
Okay. Right, Peppy.
When I knew that my sight was deteriorating and that I was, you know, a little bit upset by it all, because I thought, well, you know, why has it got to be me? Why shouldn't I be able to see? But after a while, you begin to think, well, I've got other senses, and your other senses become more acute. You find that you can hear a lot more, and you can feel a lot more, and you can smell more. I mean, if my eyes were taken away tomorrow, it wouldn't bother me. I'd be able to do what I wanted to do some other way. I'd find another way of doing it.
No, could I just have the one half, please?
All right, I'll put the other one back.
Would you be able to keep it for me?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
19 pence, okay?
Right, thank you.
Warm today, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's too hot.
I'm a bit sunbathing.
Oh,
There you go. There we go.
thank you very much.
I'll put it away for you so you can have it another day.
Okay, thank you. I'll probably come in sometime next week for it.
All right then.
Okay?
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
There is prejudice against the blind in the sighted world, quite a bit of it actually. I think that the world can be a nasty place. Society can be very unpleasant towards blind people. They don't understand about them, and they just take it for granted that blind people are hopeless, idiots, they're dangerous, they might bite you any second, and they have not got the slightest idea how to approach a blind person. They come up to you, they drag you across the road, and they think, oh well, I've done my duty for the day. No, perhaps that blind person didn't even want to cross. That blind person might be standing on the wrong side of the road thinking, oh my God, how do I get back over here? Just because an ignorant member of the public approaches a blind person, doesn't speak to them, and just drags them about. They shouldn't do that. They should speak to me and say, oh, hello, and let me know that they're there, instead of thinking, oh, well, she's blind, she doesn't know I'm there, it doesn't really matter anyway. Speak to the dog instead. And I think that people should be educated a lot more about blind people.
When it comes to work, public misconceptions about blind people assume a greater significance. Special colleges were set up in the middle of the last century, and a traditional idea of what the blind were able to do has developed. The Royal Normal College was founded in 1872 to train blind musicians and piano tuners. It was based on the popular myth that because they can't see, the blind must be good at music. Today, piano tuning is still one of the main courses available. However, the situation has changed, and now blind people are recognised as having a wider range of abilities. Perhaps the most hopeful development is in the use of microelectronics, particularly in computers. Nevertheless, the majority will still be trained in so-called blind jobs, telephony, audio typing and similar office work.
Up, down. Now we'll get faster. Up, down, up.
Physiotherapy is open only for those with A levels, and training in light engineering is available for the practical. But the opportunities are still very limited, and many blind youngsters feel that they are restricted more by what the sighted world thinks of their capabilities than by their lack of sight.
They tend to push you towards one of these particular employment fields, and when you first go to college and you decide what you want to do, if you perhaps choose something that's not considered a blind person's job, you often get careers officers and people saying, oh no, you can't do that because you can't see. Not every blind person wants to sit behind a typewriter all day, or wants to punch numbers into a computer all day, or wants to sit answering telephones all day. I mean, I would have liked to have been a nursery nurse at one time, and I was told, oh, you can't do that because you can't see. Well, to me, looking after children, I mean, regardless of whether you can see or not, it's no different to anything else, but you do get told these things, and I think it's wrong. People should be allowed to choose what field they want to go into. There's blind lawyers in America and blind doctors, so why can't they be in this country too? There are a lot of blind people that want to do other things, and if they want to do it, they should be encouraged and helped to go through university and get on in life.
Of remembrance for important events.
When you're at the RNC in Hereford, they run what they call a work experience scheme, which is a private scheme, and they like to put final year students on work experience. I've got 7 O-levels, ranging from maths to home economics. I've got a certificate that says I can operate a PABX1 switchboard. I have got LCC advanced typewriting. I've got RSA intermediate, elementary, intermediate audio and medical audio typewriting. I've got up to 70 words a minute shorthand.
There we go.
Okay, an internal letter with 5 copies. And it's addressed to... Catherine is extremely well qualified in comparison with the average person applying for a job in a typing area. I was extremely impressed to read her CV, amazed, I suppose, just trying to understand how she managed to achieve all that in so short a time. Her shorthand speed and her typing speed are above the average. At the same time, I don't think you should discount the fact that she has a handicap, and that for her to be effective in a commercial environment, she has got to be supported in the nicest sense by a sighted person. But I believe that if you can establish a partnership with someone who is sighted, then jointly they can probably produce more than 2 people's work. It contained nothing contentious. Full stop. So Cathy is a character, the sort of person that is always pleasant to have in an office because she keeps the general level of people's spirits up. Because You forget for a while that she does have a handicap. And then suddenly you think, good Lord, here's Cathy, she's got this problem. I haven't. Why am I miserable when she's so cheerful? Whether there are any savings to be achieved.
There are 2 other visually handicapped people in the office, both of them men. One of them's fairly old and the other one's a few years older than me.
Yeah. You're going out with this here young man again now.
Oh, Richard?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Where are you going?
Up London.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We're going to the is it Blind Federation?
Where's that then?
What will you do, Richard? Are you going to... Will somebody write to me, will they?
Well, yeah, I will get in touch with the secretary. And the secretary will write to you, hopefully.
Oh, I see.
Oh, what a disappointment, Cathy. He's not
Not to me.
Are you not going to take me, Richard? Oh.
He'll take you up on his rail card. I'm stranded as you are.
You're onto a good thing here, Richard. You're definitely onto a good thing. Could go out for a meal.
Oh, Richard, now there's a good
Would you like to go out for a meal, Cathy?
Well, he promised me a drink at lunchtime and I never got it.
I know, he let us all
He sat
down.
one end of the dining room and I was the other.
He's shy.
Oh,
You take down the wimpy.
I'll have one of those, the biggest one you can have. What do they call them?
They're quarter pounder, isn't it?
Yeah,
The biggest burger under the bun.
Edna, there ain't anything on here.
I don't think employers should bend over backwards to employ you. They should employ you on your qualifications and you, not because you're blind or you're deaf or anything else. They shouldn't treat you as somebody who has to be treated special and who needs a job and feels sorry for you and say, oh, well, let's give her a job because she's blind, and then they give you the job and they wouldn't really have given it to you if you hadn't have been blind, and I don't think they should do that. I like to be treated like everybody else, and I'm an independent person and I want a job on my qualifications and not on anything else.
Cathy's work experience was extended when she transferred to the Youth Opportunities Scheme for 6 months. In the meantime, she started to write off for jobs.
That's 217 High Street, Hemel Hempstead. Computer Technology Limited.
I've got a sister, Margaret. She's 15 months younger than me. She went to school the same time as I did, and she got 6 O-levels, and one of them was French. She's very clever. But unfortunately, she can't see very well. She's on the borderline of blind and partially sighted, and she can see quite a bit. But she went to college and she didn't manage to pass any secretarial exams, which was a shame really, because she can type. But the only work that she could apply for was domestic work. Margaret has now been out of work for 2 years, coming summer.
On the industrial estate. Must be.
Settling back into the local community after spending so much time away can be a problem. Cathy was helped when she discovered she had an unexpected talent.
I started my singing lessons back in August. The person who's teaching me is Father Adrian, and he went to Lewes with me a few years ago, and when we were in the crowds, we were singing at the masses and that, and he said to me that I could sing quite well, and he's been after me for ages to go into his choir. My mum is the leading soprano in the choir. Her voice was trained. She went to the Watford School of Music. She stopped singing for a while, but Father Adrian heard her singing one day and he roped her into his choir. And now she's the leading soprano, and I'm following hotly behind her.
Stop there, Richmond. you know, this has got to be declamatory, you know, really it's somebody telling somebody, come unto me, all you who labour and are heavy burdened, and I will refresh you. Come unto him, you know, much more punch in it. Okay, I know that it's difficult because you're not, you know, the breathing's, you know, difficult. Deep breathing, as deep as you can down here. Your lungs are like a pear.
I'm not sure where to come in there.
No, well, don't worry. Well, I'll give you a tap, okay? And again, if you can sing in the phrase, so take his yoke upon you and learn of him. I know, you know, it's a long phrase, but if you have a deep breath, you can do it.
Say that all in one breath?
Yes, if you can, right? Take his yoke upon you and learn of him.
Yeah.
And try and get the words nicely out too. Should we do that bit again? First we go straight in, if you just give us the note, David. Okay, 3, 4.
Take his yoke upon you.
No, don't worry. Take his yoke. Don't worry. There's good practice, you see. Take his yoke upon you and learn of him. Right? Okay. Once again. 3, 4. Take his yoke upon you and learn of him.
For he is meek and lowly.
Yes.
Out of breath again.
Don't worry. For he is meek and lowly of heart. For he is meek.
Have I got to say all that?
No. Well, if you can't say, for he is meek. If you've got to take a breath there. And lowly of heart. If you can sing it, well, we'll get you one day that you can sing the whole thing in one breath, okay? But it takes time. Should we go on to the carol now?
He went to Bethlehem and he wrote a carol. He named it The Babe of Bethlehem. And he wanted somebody to sing it at midnight mass. And he felt that it suited me. I've been at Kodak now just over 6 months. I was due to leave. February the 11th I was due to leave. But Kodak managed to get the Manpower Services Commission to allow me to stay on for another 6 months. So I should be at Kodak till August now. I've now applied for 90 jobs and I've had 73 replies and 2 interviews. Cathy!
Come here! Come! Come on! Pepe!
I have got a lot to offer. If people were to give me a chance, you see, people don't want to. They see this thing written on the form, blind. That's it. They think, oh, God, what can she do? They don't want to give you a chance. They can't be bothered. It's too much hard work for them. They think, oh, God, we've got a lot of hard work here. We've got to teach this person to do this and teach this person to do that. Well, they only have to come into Kodak House and watch me work, and then they'll see I can do just as much as anybody else. I'm not hopeless. I just can't see. I mean, I'm not deaf or dumb, and I'm not stupid, and I've got all my arms, and I've got my legs, and I've got a mouth. And I mean, you know, I'm quite capable of doing anything anybody else is capable of doing. So, I mean, it makes me laugh.
Put it on so when I get over
Yeah.
the stop.
Can I come to the other side of you now, Dad?
Yeah.